anime fans, this is Chris Bolts, and I'm just going to be talking about an article that I noticed as I was doing research for my last video about solo leveling becoming the #1 anime for the winter 2024 season. I came across this little tidbit within one of the articles from Anime by the Numbers. Now, already you can tell that they are coming from a left-wing perspective, which is fine. I don't care. It was used for that particular purpose and everything like that. But I'm going to come back at this from the right-wing perspective and everything, because I am conservative. I've been conservative for a few decades now. And you notice my skin color and everything like that. I'm a black man. So that doesn't matter, neither here nor there or anything like that. But this right here, why is there an overlap between Moe and the alt-right coming from an anime news network? And this little tidbit from the author of this article: we often have to explain to clients how anime is used in Western culture wars. Not by us, by the way. From the recent Ghibli AI horror slop posted by the Trump administration to Elon Musk's extremely stupid pro-MAGA anime edit in November. Now, I didn't know anything about this. I follow a lot of cultural things, especially regarding MAGA and all that. But I don't know. I like, how is this part of any type of culture war? If any of this stuff is being posted in good faith and good fun, why does that make you mad? And it says right here, Jerome Mazandarani's recent Answerman column gets into why this happens and how we can begin to address it in a really insightful way, from Claudia A. Now, this is already not good faith, because if they wanted to get into it in a really insightful way, they wouldn't use terms like horror slop or extremely stupid pro-MAGA. That's not being insightful in my view. And so I read that, and I said I'm going to go over here and check out this guy's article. And let's not also just get over the fact right here, just a really quick aside before I go over to this Jerome's article. Good Smile restricts U.S. purchases amidst Trump tariff chaos. First of all, there is no chaos. I like how that's the new keyword for anybody on the left or in the media or anything like that is everything is in chaos. Does anything seem chaotic to you right now? Probably not. There's nothing chaotic going on right now. And it says in our issue about Trump's tariffs, we predicted that the biggest impact on U.S. anime fans would be an increase in anime merchandise prices. You know, you don't have to buy any of that stuff, but I digress, because a lot of merchandise is made in China. You know something? Maybe Japan should stop sending a lot of stuff over to China and having China make their stuff. Or, hey, come to America, make the stuff over here. That seems like a good proposition. But we didn't see this, that companies would halt U.S. orders entirely for the time being. Okay, that's fine. But the too long don't read. Even with Trump's temporary tariff pullback, the uncertainty they guaranteed has already damaged sales. No, not really. It hasn't done anything of the sort. All this stuff, it'll work itself out off of the end. But like I said, that's an aside. The entire point of my video is to respond to this Answerman. So let me go over there to his article. Answerman, why is there an overlap between Moe and the alt-right? Now, I've been watching anime for decades, and I have never heard of this term Moe, so that means I had to go over there and educate myself a little bit. So I went over here to Aesthetics fandom wiki, and basically Moe is used in slang and it refers to feelings of affection, adoration, devotion, and excitement towards characters that appear in manga, anime, video games, and other media, usually Japanese. So basically what this means is you like the characters. But I guess he's trying to use it in a negative light. The term is often used to describe a strong emotional response to a character's cuteness, innocence, vulnerability, or other endearing qualities. Moe characters are typically depicted as being cute, charming, and sometimes naive, which can evoke protective or nurturing feelings in the viewer. Again, basically, you like the character. So I don't know what's negative about that, but let's go back to this guy's article. Why? Right in the very first paragraph, I guess he's quoting somebody that's talked, whose name is overworked 9-to-5 employee From the K-On profile pic meme to accounts that post images of Anya Forger with white nationalist undertones, there's an unhealthy number of alt-right internet users who spout hateful content and have an affinity for cute slice of life moe anime or just anime girls in general. I mean, what's this over here, by the way, on this anime news network that's bordering this guy's article? But I digress. Where did this overlap of cute, innocent, and online anime girls and online hate come from? Why is it so prevalent? And can anime be used to push fans into the alt-right pipeline? No. If so, what's the best course of action to get people away from it? How about you just don't worry about it and just enjoy the content along with your quote-unquote alt-right compatriots? I don't know. I mean, first of all, I don't hang around leftists or anything like that, but do you guys really speak like this in real life? You go around calling anybody who doesn't agree with you alt-right. You call them white nationalists. You're basically just doing a bunch of name calling and you're realizing that it's not working. Do I look like a white nationalist to you? I don't get this. And in his response to that, Answerman says, there's a saying, a lie gets halfway around the world before the truth has a chance to get its trousers on. Yeah, we know about that. I bet you this guy believes that all the January 6th people were insurrectionists, right? But we won't go there. There are anonymous people online using moe avatars to spread hateful content. But what came first, the anime fan or the far-right activist? Now, if I wanted to, I can go to Blue Sky. In fact, you know what? Because Blue Sky is now the favorite place for all the leftists to go to because they want to get away from Elon Musk and all and Twitter. They used to all be on Twitter. Used to all be on Elon Musk and everything like that. But now it's just like they want to go ahead and do their own thing. Let me see right here. It looks like it's there we go. So look at this 90s anime. We already have one right here. There's another one right here. You got the damn anime right there. There's already two right there. And then of course Anime News Network is over here on this site that has stuff over here. I don't see a lot of engagement on this or anything like that. Let me try this one right here. It looks like there's two responses. So he's using a dog. The other one's using it, looks like a picture of herself. So this isn't something that's just exclusive to anybody on the right. It looks like some people on the left, and just digging through here, who would like to go ahead and use anime as their avatar as well. And I'm pretty sure we can go over on Twitter too, on X Twitter. This is my page and everything like that. I follow a lot of anime sites and everything like that. We see one right here from Harley Anime. They have their avatar. I don't know what their politics are or anything like that. 47,000 followers. Let me go ahead and click on that. But so yeah, I don't know what that means. Don't know what it means to go in there and have your own avatars or everything like that. He goes on to say there is an overlap between anime fandom and far right politics, and this isn't unique to anime. Nearly every element of pop culture is now part of the online culture war. No. It's like, again, this is a situation where because we don't agree with leftists on some things, they are putting themselves and injecting themselves into this culture war. They're basically creating the culture war. I mean, weaponized language right here. You're calling people Nazis, white nationalist undertones from this overworked 9-to-5 employee, and calling them alt-right, far-right activists. You know, pretty much people who watch this stuff aren't all necessarily far-right activists. I may be on the right, and you could probably say I'm on the far right, but I don't go out there and do any type of activism or anything. I sit my black ass at home and enjoy stuff at home. Topics for rage baiters include minority representation in media and brand promotion of LGBTQ plus causes. See, by the way, this is them inserting culture war issues into our entertainment, and they're getting pushback. And then we don't say that we don't want minority representation in media. I thought we had it perfectly just fine. But when that's your sole focus and the sole thing that you're pushing, then people are going to push back. The same thing with this LGBT stuff. The majority of the country is straight. but you're pushing LGBT all on them. And for a while they were fine with it, but now everything has to have LGBT off of it. And you're getting pushback. And of course, in the next sentence, not every racist with an anime avatar is an anime fan, and not every anime fan is a racist. We need to understand why moe characters are used, assess the threat, and find ways to protect young men from radicalization. Like, what are you talking about? What threat are you assessing? People just want to, if people want to watch anime, I don't see what type of message you're going to be pushing to protect young men from radicalization. What message are you trying to fight? These online arguments become real world issues. The banning of manga in U.S. school libraries is one example. You know what? They don't allow comics in school libraries. And frankly, I think that's a good thing. Don't put manga there. Don't put comics. Keep your stuff limited to novels that are engaging and educational books. The corruption of youth is a perennial political issue alongside debates on gender and pronouns. Well, who started all that? You guys did. These issues flare up alongside discussions of police brutality and DEI policies. Again, these are things that you guys are fighting on and pushing that on everybody else, but we don't care about that, especially when it comes to anime. Both 100% of anime coming out of Japan does not concern anything associated with American politics or American cultural issues. Most of the anime is from a Japanese perspective. I mean, they will go out and do other cultures. For example, one of the best ones that I watched recently was Orb on the movements of the earth, which followed the Polish, the Catholicism, although they don't say it's particularly Catholicism, but they follow the Catholicism during early Poland. It was a good anime. Had nothing to do with with politics of any kind. In fact, it may start off with them being critical of Catholicism and Christianity, but then it also takes on atheism, and it takes on it at the end of it, you're left thinking and thinking about ideas from differing perspectives. It gets you to think about things. It doesn't talk to you about this stuff about gender and pronouns or police brutality and DEI policies. He goes, I've been involved in anime distribution since 2005. I've been watching anime much longer than that. And for the longest time, it was fine. Everybody concentrated on watching the anime. It says a 2014-2015 Gamergate harassment campaign revealed to me for the first time the existence of an online movement promoting misogyny, racism, and hate speech using anime and video game language. These people are fighting enemies within their own mind. They can't enjoy life because they need an enemy to fight. When I walk around in my personal life, I don't even worry about anything leftist or anything like that. The only thing I really talk about leftism or politics in general is when I'm watching Black Conservative Perspective or Brandon Tatum, or when I watch some of my Instagram pages. That's the only time I really comment on anything political. But for the other parts of the time, I'm enjoying life. These people can't enjoy life. They think they have to go out there and fight people, and yet they want to blame the right for the culture war. You guys are the ones fighting this stuff. You're the ones inventing these things and pushing it on other people, and you're getting pushback. Here's more name calling. The quote unquote alt-right is a far-right movement characterized by white nationalism, rejection of mainstream conservatism. I don't know what he even means by mainstream conservatism. An online presence and extremist beliefs. Extremist beliefs, what I've learned when dealing with leftists, is when you have any type of belief that is completely opposite their own and you disagree with them. What was adopted by actual racists. I don't think this guy has ever met an actual racist in his life. I have met actual racists, and they will stand on business. This guy has probably never met anyone. The weaponization of irony makes it hard to distinguish sincerity from sarcasm. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. You got people like you don't engage with anybody who disagrees with you in good faith. If you did, none of this article would have any of this name calling that you're engaging in. In 2021, Black Anya fan art sparked a racist debate. Well, guess what? The racist here is race swapping Anya to be black. Anya's not black. Anya Forger is white. you are going in there and messing up the original creator's work. And that probably is what was the debate, because online artists like Soul King Lives aim to celebrate underrepresented fans. There are no underrepresented fans. There are no underrepresented fans. You are either a fan of the anime or you're not. This underrepresentation stuff is nonsense. This is basically black people looking to be victims, looking to be well, look at me, I'm an underrepresented fan. No, you're not. You're not underrepresented at all. In fact, there might be overrepresentation. You keep putting yourself out there. You got your websites. You got your own cons. You get invited onto various shows and everything like that. You're able to speak out openly about your underrepresentation. But if you get the slightest form of pushback, you now want to call people racist. Let me click on this fan art right here. Okay, that's all it does is just take you to their own website talking about fan fiction or fan art, so it doesn't take you anywhere else. I hate it when these websites like to represent themselves or use themselves as some type of source. Let's see. It's a discussion on race and representation in anime can quickly deteriorate. Some want to protect anime's Japaneseness, which is difficult to argue against. I believe that a Japanese creator's unique cultural perspective makes many of these stories so utterly compelling, in particular their personal experience of childhood and adolescence. I always get riled up when I see debates erupt around an anime's provenance and authenticity. In my view, all that should matter is whether it's any good or not. Exactly. I agree with you. But if someone comes in here and says, well, we don't want you to go in there and race swap characters because that's messing with the original author's work, that you should be on the same side. You should be respecting. I say, you know what? You're exactly correct. You shouldn't try to represent whatever fan art that you put out there as the proper way to interpret something. If someone disagrees with it, engage them on good faith. Engage them and say, you know what? Maybe they're not doing this as on any type of malice. Let's see here. So yeah, he keeps going on about the Japaneseness and all that, which I once again I agree with him on. So one wonders why he has a disagreement when people say let's just keep it the way as it was originally intended. Moe girls have been a part of online meme culture since its inception. Moe culture's male wish fulfillment, often appealing to lonely men. I don't think so. If this Moe anime is a thing, the current girlfriend of the hour for me is Lune from Claire Obscure Expedition 33. I've been married for 22 years. I can distinguish what is fake and what is real. And I think most men can do that as well. Because I am not overly concerned about the threat far-right influences pose to young anime fans. However, it would be remiss of me to ignore the fact that fandom ages. That right there probably should be the entire point, or rather, it should end the entire article right there. That you're not overly concerned about the threat far-right influences pose to young anime fans. You should have led with that as opposed to giving us all that other disingenuous nonsense, calling people names and all that because you disagree with them. You know what I'm saying? As new fans enter, influenced by dominant media ideology, this issue may increase. In this case, I am arguing that the larger culture we inhabit influences our ideology and that we may carry that with us into different online and offline spaces. So what? Why does that bother you and why does that concern you? That should be of no concern to you. If you're strong in your beliefs, then someone else's beliefs shouldn't influence you, right? Only those who are weak-willed will be influenced by someone else's ideology. And then of course, that's on them. That's not on the person going off in there. If I state that the Trump tariffs aren't doing the damage that you think they're doing, and you have a really good compelling case that says that they are, okay, well then you shouldn't have any problem with that. But if my point is more compelling than yours, then you should examine your premises and question whether or not you are in the wrong. Right? What can we do to counter the online radicalization of anime fans? How about not trying to counter it at all? There is no online radicalization of anything. You guys are looking for enemies to slay where there are none. Conventions and online forums should offer advice sessions and create safe spaces for discussion. No, they shouldn't. Why don't you just man up and just have difficult discussions with people you disagree with, and learn to control your feelings and your anger. You know, don't get mad because someone has a different point of view than yours. Stay cool. Be a man about these things and just have a civil discussion. You don't need advice and you don't need a safe space. There is no such thing as a safe space. You have to deal with the real world, and out in the real world, there are people who have all kinds of differences of opinion, and they're not necessarily far right or white nationalists because they have a different view on cultural and political issues than you do. We need to see both online and offline spaces continue to enforce clear policy against hate speech as well. Who gets to define what hate speech is? In this entire article, it seemed like you gave a whole bunch of hate speech. But yet, I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, you shouldn't be able to say what you say, because I'm man enough to sit there and say, okay, that's your opinion. Don't bother me. Why do you need a safe space? And why do you need someone to go out and enforce it? And who would you get to enforce this stuff? Who would you get to enforce this stuff? I mean, I just pulled your article up immediately. You think Anime News Network should go in there and put in a subscription service to say, hey, only people who subscribe to this can access it? I guarantee your viewer count will go down tremendously. You know, it'll go down tremendously because, and he's finishing off right here. We live in a time when hate and belittling others pays off. This is hypocrisy. This guy is a hypocrite. He doesn't even realize he's a hypocrite, does he? I bet he doesn't. He just went through an entire article hating on a whole entire group of people and belittling them. We must defend the positive aspect of fandom from these forces. Fandom is just fine. Why don't you guys stop doing what you're doing? You know, stop doing what you're doing. We must approach this topic with compassion and empathy. I feel none. Why don't you take the lead on that? The cost of living crisis, the loneliness epidemic, and the growing divide between young men and women contribute to this issue. Those are some valid criticisms right there. But again, in order to come to a good solution, you need to engage with people who think differently from you. To prevent online radicalization, we must challenge racist and sexist views and listen to those who hold them. Okay, that's actually really good. Listen to them. And don't assume that everything that's coming out of their mouth is racist and sexist. My advice to everyone reading this is to try to avoid canceling or shaming them. I agree with that too. We owe it to ourselves to keep as many of our community inside our tent. This is where they are safest. There's that word again. I don't care about safety. Learn to build in hard outer shell so that words don't bother you. That's what you guys got to do. You got to stop wanting to be safe. You can't be safe. The real world out here is dangerous. You need to learn how to build a good outer shell and practice self-awareness. By listening to them and asking them the right questions that challenge their way of thinking, we stand a much better chance of countering far-right radicalization. I agree with that. It's not the far-right radicalization part, but when you want to talk to somebody who has a difference of opinion, the only way you do that is by listening and challenging them on their positions, to get them to think about their positions. Radicalization happens in a vacuum. I agree with that too. I just don't think that someone who is on the right side of things is radicalized. They just have a different political worldview. And lastly, he goes, please remember, you matter, all of you, the young people in your life, be they peers, friends, siblings, neighbors, or your children. Make sure they hear this all the time. You matter. I agree with that too. So this article is a mishmash of some good things and certainly a whole bunch of left-wing nonsense, you know. But if he wants a discussion on anime, I'll be more than happy to talk to him about it. I like Anya Forger, and I don't think she should be race swapped. Leave her alone. I wouldn't race swap any black character, or any other character for that matter. Leave the work as intended, you know. And then but lastly, let me go ahead and just go over to some of these posts and everything like that, and then I'll call the video here. I don't want it to get too long or anything like that. It's taking a minute to get over there. And this right here, just a caution in advance that the mods will be watching this thread closely. Let me get out of that. Keep any response civil. Okay, I agree with that. Too many people are sleeping on how the knee-jerk rejection of people with ignorant ideas is feeding a population doubling down on hate and ignorance. If good people won't engage, bad actors will. That's probably okay. That's fine. I didn't expect Answerman to be dipping in something related to the alt-right. See? Bad faith. Alt-right are basically neo-Nazis and they're anti-Semitic from what I've seen. I wonder if this guy ever talks to any of his fellow leftists who are currently rampaging on university campuses, talking about free Palestine, and attacking Jews. Now, he probably doesn't believe that or anything like that. But again, this is more bad faith. If they're studying Japanese culture and history, including World War II, they would have known or heard about Tsunei Sugihara, the diplomat, helped thousands of European Jews from Poland and Lithuania flee the Holocaust. Okay, that's fine. If these guys are homophobic and transphobic, they definitely are. I like how he just makes it. He confirms himself. Then how the hell do these guys not know about yaoi and yuri genre? If I wasn't all right and I found out about yaoi and yuri, I would be automatically turned off by anime, manga, and the fandom if they had already been aware of it. I don't know what yaoi or yuri is. So again, let's go over to the let's go over here because I don't know what any of these topics are, and I've been watching anime for the majority of my adult life, definitely my kid life. Let's see right here. So it's homoerotic and homoromantic relationships between two men. That's what yaoi, and I'm assuming yuri is the female opposite. And no, I wouldn't run away from that. I wouldn't necessarily. I didn't like a lot of the male on male stuff. I stopped watching that. I don't watch any of that stuff. However, I did like Orange, which is I think Orange is let's see, what was it? No, it wasn't Orange. It was another one that it was two women who like each other, which I really enjoyed. So no, this is where this guy again makes an assumption that, hey, you can't like something like that because I said so. And there are folks that are K-pop fans. How do they reconcile a bad relationship between Japan and South Korea? Easy. We enjoy stuff from Japan. We enjoy stuff from South Korea. What does their relationship have to do with any of us? You know, this is he goes, how do this at the bottom of this? That's what I would like to know. How do these alt-right anime fans sleep at night knowing that whatever they believe contradict every anime fan? Who gives a fuck if it contradicts? Just enjoy your shit and don't worry about what other people think. And how do they sleep knowing that Trump can use executive order to ban anime? Hey, if he banned anime today, I'd be like, oh, it sucks. It sucks that he banned anime. Let me go find something else to do. That's what I would do. Like, why is your whole identity wrapped up in your politics? But yeah, that's what I wanted to say on that. The article again has some good aspects, but it definitely has a lot of bad aspects. If you guys want to read the article, I will leave a link in the description of my video, and I'll also leave a link to the description because truthfully, these are two good anime resources: Anime News Network and Anime by the Numbers, but they let their politics get in the way of just providing people with good information on the anime genre, community, and culture. But those are my thoughts on that. What do you guys think? Jump down in the comments and let me know what you guys think. And like, share, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. All that stuff really helps me out. And remember, this is Chris Bolts signing off, and I will catch you in the next video. You guys take it easy.